How y'all doing?
Nick, where you were in the first half to 30 points in the second half, what did you learn about your team, but also what changes did you make on offense to
Man,
get things going?
you know what? It couldn't have been much worse of a first half. We got to the run game really going in the second half. Our guys were really doing a good job of executing in that second half, and that was an offensive explosion in the second half, right? I mean, and it had to be because they were good too. And man, I think that there was a notion that game could be high scoring going into it. Then at halftime, it was going to be a little battle, and then it got high scoring again. And so, just really, really excited for our guys on offense that just put their head down and just kept going, right? And that's mental toughness, right? I already know this team, this Philadelphia Eagles team, is physically tough, and you get mentally more tough throughout the year when you go through ups and downs. And man, that was a down first half, and but we have a mentally tough group as well as physically tough group that just stuck with it and kept fighting, and it turned.
With what happened in Kansas City, and then to be down again and to make this comeback, did you sense a sort of confidence from your team, no matter what the situation was?
Yeah, our guys know how to win. Why do our guys know how to win? Well, part of that's a product of what we've done here the last couple years. Part of that's a product of we got some guys that are still on from the 2017 Super Bowl team. Part of that is we got a lot of guys from Georgia that win a lot, that have won a lot. We got a lot of guys from Alabama who've won a lot. And so that's something. And again, I think the most important one is that we've done it together, right? You can win at all these different places, but when you do it together and find ways to win together, nobody flinches, right? And so I just felt like that's what it was. I mean, we've been in this situation before. We got the ball to start the second half. It didn't go so well, right? Then we got to stop. Then we got being down just 10. There's a lot of football left to play, and shoot, that's why they play 60 and not 30 minutes.
Last week, how Hurts made the move towards the pass to Devontae today, the touchdown. What was his role within that you saw in him in another big moment?
Who is that, Devontae? Oh, Jalen. Yeah, just clutch in clutch moments, right? There's going to be plays that he wants back from the first half. There's going to be plays that we called that we're going to want back from the first half. But really, really made some big-time plays when they mattered the most, none more than the – he had 3 touchdown passes. I thought he hit the Devontae, he read the defense perfectly and hit the ball to Devontae on the touchdown. But what an unbelievable throw and catch by OZ and Jalen on the touchdown on the scramble. I mean, my goodness, that was a good play. And so, man, he made a lot of really clutch plays in that second half. And then, the big one obviously at the end right there. We did a great job of blocking up front, and Jalen got himself through there for a touchdown in a clutch moment. And man, what you learn about, I don't think it's anything you learn about him because you know that he's clutch. He's been clutch for us and clutch for this city and clutch for this team for the past 3 years now. And he just kept going and put his head down and worked and made some big time plays at the end.
When did you find out about Lane this morning, and how did that kind of change your game plan?
Yeah, this morning, obviously we found out about that, and then Brian and I were in here, did some different things with the game plan, to account for that, because obviously Lane's one of the best players in the NFL. There's no doubt in my mind that Lane Johnson is one of the best players in the world. And so, we have a ton of confidence in Jack Driscoll. And Jack Driscoll, I haven't seen the tape, but I have a feeling that he played an outstanding game because of just the way the game was going and the rush and all those different things. But when you lose Lane Johnson's special, right? He's different. And so, yeah, we found out early this morning. Lane wanted to play and wanted to go, tough it out. He just didn't feel like he could in that sense, and I know that hurt Lane that he wanted to play badly in this game. But guys stepped up in his absence. That happened with Zach Cunningham too. Christian Ellis came in and made some big time plays. We knew that It was going to take everybody when you're playing a team like the Bills. It's going to take everybody's contribution to win, and we got everyone's contribution, right? And some different than others that had to contribute more than they might have thought coming into this game. And I'm really happy for those guys that were able to do that.
I think a lot of what they got offensively is Josh on third down, running, avoiding pressure. What's it like watching that from the sideline? Are you screaming? Are you frustrated? Is there any part of you that's going, I can't believe that this guy's doing this?
He's special. This is a players' league that there's players that just make plays in clutch moments, and he kept making big time plays. He's an outstanding player, and we just ended up with the ball last. Is really what ended up happening. To watch Josh Allen live was very impressive. He's a heck of a football player. Of course, it's frustrating in those scenarios, but you got to give them all the credit because we had him wrapped a couple times. We had him in an open field tackle a couple times, and he's a big, strong man who can change directions too. It was a lot of respect for that man.
How much did you have to help Jack?
We obviously did a lot of our plan looking how we were going to help him, what we could do, and starting off a little bit early in the game to do some of those things, but then he settled in and he played a really good game, and so we felt like as the game grew on, we felt like, and that was our plan, and see how the game was going and see if we have to continue there. And as the game grew on, we continued to gain more and more confidence in Jack's ability to stop this rush. And I thought, again, it's hard for me to say exactly how that he played without watching the tape, but it seemed like he played a really good game. And again, big contribution by Jack Driscoll.
You mentioned not flinching prior. What's it like for you? 59-yard field goal, that weather, you got to trot Jake out there in that situation.
Nobody I'd rather have in the NFL more than Jake Elliott. Shoot, to me, he's the best kicker in the NFL. He's so clutch. Right? I guess thoughts of the Washington game were in my mind, right? And we actually showed that clip yesterday. We went through the room and talked to everybody about the contribution. And I couldn't hit everybody, but I hit about 25 guys about the contribution that they're going to have to make for us to win this game. And one thing I said to Jake was, we're going to need your clutch contribution. Nobody else we'd rather have in the world than Jake Elliott kicking a field goal on that, and he was clutch. And that, but because this is the greatest team sport there is, it couldn't be done without the protection. It couldn't be done without the snap by Rick, the hold by Braden, and the kick by Jake. So I didn't watch it. I still didn't watch it. I had to get Clay and Fletch pointing at me that he made it. But, man, he's clutch, and glad he's our kicker.
As frustrating as it was for you
right now, are you more relieved or proud of that team because your numbers were horrible through the early part of the third quarter, and then you came back. You came back from 10 twice, and you've come back from 10 3 times in the last 2 games, and you did what you did at the end.
Yeah.
And you did it undermanned, vastly undermanned.
That's why they make it play 60 minutes, right? And so that's why you can't look at the numbers or anything like that. You just got to keep putting your head down and fighting, and our guys did that. And that really just shows the mental toughness of our guys. I'm happy, right? I'm happy, and I'm glad that we can learn from this. I think that's my emotion that I have. I'm extremely happy that we found a way to win this football game. I'm extremely happy that the corrections will be made after a win than after a loss, right? And, because there's going to be corrections that have to be made, and that's what we do here. We make our corrections. We hold each other accountable, starting with myself, and then with our leaders, and it just, that's contagious. The accountability is contagious, and that's how you get better. And so we got to get better from this, but, happy is the emotion that I have right now.
Last one. As frustrating as it was to see Josh Allen run around doing all the things that he was doing, how comforting was it for you that you got your guys to do pretty much the same thing?
Yeah, Jalen made some big-time plays with his feet today on some scrambles. I think, you can see that he's feeling pretty good, right? And that he just made some big-time plays. When the pass game wasn't going well, somehow he found a way to make plays. And so, you could see him have that acceleration that we're all used to seeing. We could see it, the ability to change direction, the power when he makes a cut. You saw all that. And again, like I said, Jalen, had a great second half. He had a great second half. And Josh Allen was, as frustrating as it may have been, he still made a lot of plays. It was something to watch. And I got a lot of respect for him and the plays they made.